I was wondering if there's a yellow brick road that's going to bring me to the yellow of my supper. I wonder if there's a big dent in my fender that I cannot explain how it got there. I wonder if I know where I'm at. I can't understand my situation. My articles are considered interesting, but nothing really matters where they are concerning themselves. These are my observations. I am not observing anything. The words that come to mind are simply words I speak. They have no meaning whatsoever. You think they are English sentences. I am speaking them, and I don't know what I'm going to say. So, do I consider them English? No. To you, they sound English, like sentences, and they are thoughts. They're sentences expressing a complete thought. But when I hear them, I am going, this is meaningless drivel. It doesn't mean anything because I have no intention behind it. I am merely spewing whatever comes into my mind in right through to my mouth without me filtering it. There is nothing going on here. I am having nothing to do with the rest of you. There is a big flipper flop in my dibberdop. I'm not coming to dinner. You're never figuring out what's going on. I don't know what's going on. You can't make me do it. I'm not a yellow brick road. Figure it out, figure it out. I'm coming to dinner. I'm never coming to dinner. You can flipper flop your way here and there, but it's never going to get you anywhere. No one understands and no one ever will. You cannot win, you cannot lose, you cannot flip, you cannot flooze. I'm never going to be anything but bizarre. You cannot be my yellow car. Okay. So, there is no lesson to be learned from listening to this video. Everything you think that makes any kind of sense, you are misinterpreting it. It is pure gibberish. Even these words are pure gibberish. I am talking gibberish. Yellow is the color, and there is no other color. There is only yellow. Analysis, Mr. Spock. There is simply no filter between my mouth and what my brain is receiving from the source fields. The source fields seem to be insane. So, what do you do when you are getting insane data coming in from the source fields to your mind and being expressed by your mouth? You maybe set up a filter and look at what kind of things you are seeing and see if they make any rational sense. If they do not, you say, Mr. Source Field, you're sending me gibberish. Do you have a reason you're sending me gibberish? I don't want your gibberish. If you're going to send me anything at all, I want something that is meaningful. If you are going to send me gibberish, I'm going to send it back and say, stupid, 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 with a stamp on it. And it's going to be stamped on you, Mr. Sourcefield, stamping on you. You're sending me stupid. I consider you stupid. In other circumstances, we might consider you, the listener, to be worried about where am I going with this particular talk. Sometimes I was taught to do an agenda at the beginning of a talk to sort of give you an idea of this is what my talk is about. This is what I'm going to first talk about. My second thing I'm going to talk about. The third thing I'm going to talk about. Then I'm going to wrap it up and remind you what this talk is about. But I didn't put the agenda at the beginning. I'm putting the agenda at the end. So this talk was about gibberish. This talk was about source fields. This talk was about calling things stupid that are stupid. This thing is about me, and this is about you wondering what this talk is about. To wrap it all up, this is about how, if you open your mouth and you have no filter and you just talk with whatever comes into your head, you'll get a talk. Is it a valuable talk to you? For me, it is basically saying there is a lot of gobbledygook that is running around in the thought fields, and I'm not particularly trying to be attuned to gibberish. I'm trying to be attuned to something that is valuable and useful. But when I open my mouth, what comes out is a talk about gibberish. So, who is in control of my creation? I was just reading a book, it's one like many, that says you create your own reality. And I am tapping into a source field, and source field is giving me gibberish. So is it me that's creating a gibberish reality, or is it the source field? I'm going to tell you it's the source field. Why is the source field creating a gibberish reality? I don't know, but I'm marking it as stupid. How do you connect to better source fields? Most of the time, you have to figure there are frequency fences in place. These are something to stop you from accessing good information. They are fencing you into gibberish and garbage. It's like they want you to live in a garbage dump. So, is there an intent behind it? Someone built these frequency fences that keep you getting a steady stream of gibberish garbage because they don't want you to leave the garbage dump. Who are the ones that make these frequency fences? Ones who have a motivation to keep you fenced in. They are ones who want to make you a slave. They do not want you to have freedom of thought, freedom to manifest things that are useful to you. They prefer you to be in a garbage dump. What kind of beings are these that make frequency fences? They are called yuck beings. Some people call them negative entities. They are yuck. And are there lots of frequency fences on planet Earth? Yes, this place is infested with frequency fences. How do you dismantle a frequency fence? First, you have to be aware that these things exist. These things exist, and you just have to do it yourself. Just meditate, then open your mouth and start talking and see if you get gibberish. If you do, then you're in a frequency fenced area, and some being is trying to make you their slave. They want you to be yuck too. What is the nature of a frequency fence? Well, it is something that is preventing you from accessing good quality information from the source fields. It has found a garbage dump of gibberish and crap, and it is focusing you on that garbage and crap. So it has set an intention to create a trap for you. And if you recognize that there is a frequency fence that is trapping you into a garbage dump, you can start to figure out that there is yuck beings around and they prefer you to be in the garbage dump. Why? It's difficult to say why any being would want you to be less than beautiful, but these ones prefer you to be yuck because that's their nature and they seem to want to create more yuck. If you look around in the human realm, what do I see that pisses me off? Anything that's related to what pisses me off, I consider yuck. My parents had to buy a new fridge yesterday, and I consider the price they paid for the fridge outrageous ripoff. So I consider anything to do with that purchase to be exploiting my elderly parents. Do I consider it useful? It's useful for me to know that the capitalist system of Babylonian money magic that is operating on this planet is causing me great stress because it is causing people that I love to overpay for stuff that is being a ripoff, but you have to have a fridge. So you are forced, this is what they called holding you over a barrel. You must have these things to store your food items that must be refrigerated. The point of the whole story is that there are plenty of items here on planet Earth that could be given to you at little or no cost, but they aren't because service to self beings want everything for themselves. They want everything. They want you to be their slave, and when you're their slave, they want you to work even more so you could have the bare necessities of life. In legal terms, the necessities of life must be provided for children, for example. You have no choice. If you have children, you must provide the necessities of life. That is common law. But if you look at society, society does not follow common law for the people in the society. It does not provide for all the people the necessities of life. It says if you want to eat pizza, you have got to go and find a job and earn some money. Then the pizza person goes and looks and finds there's a minimum wage job, perhaps. And they might have to spend money on a bus to get there, and they might have to spend all day to go and cook some pizzas in order to be able to afford to eat a pizza themselves. My parents bought the fridge at a particular store, and they pay not enough money so that someone working at that store selling the fridge could afford to buy the fridge. Henry Ford, who was the founder of Ford Motor Company, recognized that if he did not pay his employees enough to purchase one of the products that he made, a Ford automobile, they wouldn't buy. And his factory would not produce enough of what it makes in order to satisfy the needs of the people. And indeed, the Ford Motor Company would not thrive unless its own workers could afford to buy Ford Motor products. This lesson has been lost. Capitalists around the world do not consider Henry Ford to be someone to emulate. They consider everyone here to be useless eaters, and they should be taken to the cleaners. Every last dime should be emptied out in buying whatever product they are selling, so the person has nothing left to buy anyone else's product. This is a problem with capitalism. The Babylonian money magic problem is that banks create money out of thin air, and they have a license to do so. People in general do not have a license to create money out of thin air. So banks are given a special privilege. With privileges, there should be responsibilities, but the responsibility of a bank to the people, to society, is not being upheld. The bank is all about creating more and more money, to create indebtedness, to create interest, to create more and more for the bank and the bank shareholders. There is nothing good for society. Some people might say, well, the bank is creating some method of exchange that people can use to replace the barter system. Why do banks charge outrageous amounts of debt, interest? Because they want the money more and more to come back to them. You can research more on the fractional reserve system of banking that is used on planet Earth. You can look up Babylonian money magic, and you can maybe take a look at the interest rate you're being charged on your credit card. The end of the lecture is as follows. I see a planet of yuck. I see nothing but yuck. I see a planet where Joe Blow cannot afford much at all. And I see a planet where Donald Trump lives high on the hog and if he's like the president of the United States, then why isn't he a president of all people that are like him? In other words, if he's the president of the United States, why are there people in the United States who do not have the same standard of living? He is representing himself as an American, but, why don't you go down in some big city and find someone who is begging for cigarettes on the street corner and make that person the president? That person might have a different view of what needs to be done in the country. Because when you always elect rich people, nothing seems to change for society. We seem to have a great disparity between filthy, filthy rich people and people who are poor. I was reading another book that said you must consider that somehow the poor person begging for cigarettes on the street corner has created their own reality. They have got a victim consciousness and they have created their own reality to be poor. I wholeheartedly reject this particular teaching. This is the most odious teaching I have ever heard, and I see it time and time again told to people, you create your own reality. It is not true. Who creates the realities? It is not the people. There is some other place where these scripts that people are being unconsciously told to follow, they're written somewhere else and they're run by some other type of entity. These entities are not good for us. These entities are yuck. So, how do you take back your ability to create a different reality? First of all, you have to know that there are entities that are giving you a yucky script to run. And these entities like to keep you in the garbage dump. How do you kill these entities? I don't know if you can. How do you change their frequency fences? First, you got to be very aware that what you're getting is not what you're asking for. It's what the entities that want you to have garbage have selected for you. Why are their choices more likely for you to experience than what you would prefer to experience? Because they are using something on you that you don't have. It is called I don't know. But there is definitely something. Am I blaming someone outside of myself for creating my reality? This is another thing I have read. It is somehow something I am creating and experiencing for myself. You create your own reality, keeps coming back. I am saying, no, it's not true. Something else is doing it. It is if there are multiple creators in this space. And me as one creator putting out what I want, and a bunch of other yuck beings putting out what they want for me. They're gang stalking me with what they want me to have, and that seems to be what I get. So, putting that out there, I will tell you I am perfectly capable of getting what I want if I'm not interfered with by other beings pushing their agenda on me. I do not want your agenda, yuck beings. And if you continue to push your yuck agenda on me, I'm going to continue to speak out about you being in violation of my sovereignty as a sovereign being. And who is going to enforce my claim that you are infringing upon me? I am looking for enforcement action. And if you feel like there's an agenda being used against you to keep you down, then you can also put it out there that there are beings giving you garbage and that you don't like it. Eventually, if enough of us stand up and said, we don't want this garbage from you yuck beings anymore, I want to give you a swear word that starts with F and ends with CK and goes FUCKOFF, yuck beings. And if enough of us say that, is it going to change it? I don't know. I don't know. But this is the way I see reality. And that maybe it'll give you some information for the next person that says you created your own reality, and you can say, I don't think you fully understand the nature of creation of reality in a giant hologram where there are billions of humans and more than billions of other species of organisms here. There is a group consciousness, and the group consciousness, I don't know. I still don't understand frequency fences, how they keep you from accessing good information and manifesting good information. Am I still blaming others? I have to. Why? Because I've been working very hard to figure out if I'm putting out garbage energy. No, the energy that I put out is I want betterment for all. And I do not want to see very small numbers of beings own the planet. I don't like that. It is a shared space. And if some decide they're going to own it all and charge the rest of us rent for everything, I'm going to call foul on that. Am I insane? I think it's insane if you accept what people tell you and accept it and say that is true. And when you look at it, it provides you with a crappy outcome for yourself. So in my service to myself, I'm going to tell you, if I look and see, if I'm putting out there, I want betterment for all the people, and I look at my own situation, I don't see betterment, I'm going to say there's people blocking my manifestation for betterment for all. And the only reason they're doing that is because they've got a vested interest in keeping things the same because they like being on top of the pyramid. These are the ones that are known as Illuminati, the Cabal. And do they have help from elsewhere? I think it's quite possible they have help from other Illuminati places and beings. I think they've been doing this for a long time, and they've done a lot of research on how to keep the rest of people from accessing their own success. Am I blaming other beings? You betcha. And how am I going to get around this? I'm going to continue to talk about it until someone can prove me wrong and can say, here is a flaw somehow in what you're saying. And I've already given you what flaws you might say, so I don't want to hear those ones again. You have to come up with a new flaw. I don't think I have a flaw because, again, I am putting out, I want to manifest betterment for all beings. And what I'm seeing is worse and worse, high prices on money that is funneled to the top of the pyramid. That is not service to everyone. That is service to self of the beings at the top of the pyramid. I'm Harry Weaver, and that's your daily update.